This is Food Chemistry Unit 3, Chapter 9, the complex carbohydrates, starches, cellulose, gums, and pectins. Complex carbohydrates are polysaccharides. Many sugar units, or saccharides, are bonded together. They're abundant in grains, seeds, nuts, fruits, and vegetables. Types of complex carbohydrates. The first type is starch. This is the most abundant in the diet. There's 100 to thousands of glucose molecules bonded together. So that's why it's considered a polymer. It's a large molecule of many sugar units. Wheat flour is the main source of starch in our diet. It's in baked goods and pasta. It's also in rice, corn, potatoes, oats, rye, and sorghum. There are two basic structures of starch. We have amylose and amylopectin. Amylose is linear. The enzyme amylase in your saliva actually breaks down both structures. Amylopectin is branched. It's digested faster because of its branch structure. Most starchy foods are a mixture of both. Cellulose. This is a polysaccharide made from beta-D-glucose. It's also known as fiber in the diet. It has a rigid structure in plants, right? You often see it as like the strings and celery and membranes of corn kernels. And you can tell by these ring structures just how big they are. This is just a piece of it. Carbohydrate gums. This is not really available to the home cook. They're soluble in water and extracted from plants. On a label, you might see something like gum arabic. This protects flavors from being absorbed or evaporated in foods. Okay. Pectins. Again, this is not available to the home cook. They're found in plant cells and made of chemical derivatives of sugar or sugar acids. They do naturally occur in fruits. You can see them in orange peels, apples, plums. Tougher fruits have the most, like your cherries and grapes. Strawberries would have the least. They produce a strong, stable gel, and they're important for jams and jellies. A lot of home cooks will put this into their jams and jellies that you would see sold like in a farmer's market. Functions of complex carbohydrates. Obviously, structure. Starch is the main component of wheat flour, and flour is the main structure of baked goods. It thickens when heated and gels when cooled. It helps keep the shape, especially in foods like cereals. Bind. This holds products together. Batter dipped food for frying would be an example of this. On your labels, you might see this word. This is pronounced carrageenan. It's a gum that stabilizes cocoa, ice cream, or dairy products. You might see guar gum and xanthan gum, right? This improves consistency of gluten-free food. So if you check your labels, you might see some of these. Thicken. Starches are great for thickening liquids. Gelatinization is thickening foods with starch. Applying heat to a starch-water mixture causes it to thicken and gelatinize. You can see right here. Properties of starch for food preparation. So there's 4 types here. First, you have your slurries. This is an uncooked mixture of starch and water. It's your basic thickener of sauces, soups, and stews. It's often just cornstarch and water, and you can see this in a lot of cooking shows. This is how they thicken up their sauces. It's a very quick way to do so. Soles are thickened liquids with starch, and they're pourable. This would be your pancake, waffle, or muffin batter. Pastes. This is a starch and liquid mixed with little flow. It's similar to a slurry, it's only thicker, and it's added to gravy, soup, or stew. This could be milk and flour or water, and not necessarily cornstarch. And then you have your gels. This is starch and water subjected to heat. The starch swells, it's thick. It's a transparent starch mixture for sauces, puddings, and creams. Physical properties. Viscosity. This is a mixture's resistance to flow. There's more solid present, and that means there's more resistance to flow. This can be measured for foods like ketchup, right? Stability. This is the ability of the mixture to maintain a structure over time. This would be a stable sauce, right? If it's stable, can be frozen and or reheated. And cornstarch is a great thickener, and that helps with stability. Opacity, this is how much an object blocks light. Wheat flour is good for chowders and white sauces, right? Since they are more opaque. Translucency. This is how much light can pass through an object. Cornstarch or potato starch make more translucent gels for fruit sauces, fruit pie fillings, and glazes. Texture. Gravies, for example, should have a smooth texture. So you want to choose wheat flour over over cornmeal as a thickener. Nutritional impact. Digestible starches, again, provide the 4 calories or kilocalories of energy per gram of food. It's the same as simple carbohydrates. Excess carbohydrates are stored as glycogen in liver and muscles. The more you exercise, the more glycogen you use. If glycogen is not used, carbohydrates will turn to fat. Cellulose and fiber. Cellulose makes you feel full, helps with digestion and elimination of waste. Fiber can be soluble in water. It also makes you feel full and stabilizes blood sugar levels. Oats, barley, seaweed, and apples are good sources of fiber. Adults should consume 25 to 30 grams of fiber daily, but more often it's only 15 grams.